Welcome to Women Talk. I'm Joyce. It's been said that women talk about everything, anything, anytime, and anywhere. Two women were viewing cell phones and waiting for their numbers to be called. So they began a dialogue on various models and carriers. One talked about the providers of service. The other focused on what features they wanted in their cell phone that were important to them. By the time one of their numbers were called, they both knew what each needed the cell phone to do. One was important to have Facebook. The other wanted to be able to text. And they wanted to chat. And then one said, I need to be able to track my intimate other. Welcome to Women Talk. Today's topic, things people do. With us today are Cara Gutentag, Bessie Jackson, and Diane Valencia. Before we get into the topic, let's just meet our guests. Cara, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've lived in Piscataway since 1974. It's a great town. I've taken advantage of different recreational activities and just generally enjoyed being here. The last few years I've been going to the senior center, and I'm a volunteer teacher of a couple of classes here, and I enjoy going and socializing, and I find myself now going to all the parties, which I said I'm not going to go to the parties, I'm just going to go to a few activities, and now I go to almost all the parties as well. And later on, when we're talking about the activities, I'll talk more about some of the things I do here.
Diane, thank you. Cara?
I'm Diane Valencia. I've lived in this wonderful township of Piscataway for 33 years with my husband. And like Cara, I also go to the senior center. I think it's the best senior center. Not biased, but it's true.
Yeah, you're not biased.
No.
Thank you, Diane. Bessie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I'm Bessie Jackson. I've been in Piscataway for 43 years.
Whoa.
I had to stop and think about it because the time flies. And I didn't realize that it had been 43 years, and I have spent over 40 years working in Piscataway before I retired. I have worked for AT&T for 22 years, and then in healthcare, Johnson & Johnson for 20 years, right before my retirement. And since I retired, I've become a member of the senior center, and I enjoy the different activities. I'm part of the African American group, seniors group here, and I participate at the community center right across the street. I go there 2 or 3 times a week exercising, and so it's just been a great community, and it's so many things for us to do. So I really appreciate all that Piscataway has done for us.
You ladies sound like you're giving Piscataway, like you're out there telling people, come live here. Okay, today's topic is about the things people do. Some people teach, some lead, some counsel, some create. Some people just support, and some do good things, and then some do not so good things. Others do silly things, and then there are those fun things that people do. People can express themselves in multiple ways. Today, let's talk, ladies, about the way we express ourselves. Cara started off saying she teaches. I know Diane has plays an instrument. And Bessie, I'm just learning, wow, you lived in Piscataway so long and worked at two of the main buildings that are right here. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that, but interesting. So what did you do?
When I had different assignments at AT&T because I started out very in '72. That was before the divestiture. So so I did many things there, and I moved up with different promotions there until I was there until the big downsizing.
This was Johnson & Johnson?
That was with AT&T, and then I went to Johnson & Johnson. At Johnson & Johnson, I worked in healthcare. I was a customer service representative. So we took orders for the hospital, doctors' offices. So we placed orders and communicated with the hospitals constantly. So that was, that was customer service. And I do, with my church, I do cook. I help with the repasses at the church. And so that is another.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to that because there's something I want to ask about cooking and repasts. Diane.
Okay, I've been a volunteer for a nonprofit cultural and educational nonprofit based right here in Piscataway since I was a founding member in 1992. Our organization is called the University of the Philippines Alumni and Friends Rondalia. And the rondalia is the traditional string ensemble of the Philippines. So our mission is to propagate this native art form. And we've been performing all over the United States as well as in major cities abroad.
Oh. So, I'm sorry you didn't bring that instrument to show folks.
Oh yes, I should have.
Okay, I'm just, because I can't even describe it.
It's a 14th stringed instrument of Spanish origin because we were under Spain for nearly 400 years. It is pear-shaped and, it's a plectrum instrument, meaning, we play it with a pick with tremolo. And it's like the Russian babalaika, wherein you have, the small instruments which play the main melody. I play the banduria. And then we have bigger instruments, same pear-shaped, and they're tuned one octave lower, and they play the counter melody. The rhythm is provided by the guitars and the double bass.
When is your next performance?
Oh yes, I'm glad you asked because during the pandemic, I always obtain grants from Middlesex County to perform our major projects. And during the 4 years, affected by the pandemic from 2020 to 2023, we shifted from live performances to recorded video series. And in fact, Piscataway Community TV aired all those 4 annual projects. And we're happy to say that starting this year, we have started to go back to live formats. And we're using our grant funds to perform at various senior centers in Middlesex County. And the first in the series will be right at the Piscataway Senior Center. We're going to give a beautiful concert with music, dances, traditional and contemporary tunes, both from the Philippines and other countries. And in fact, the event announcement has been included in the township newsletter. Okay. Everybody is invited. It's going to be on Monday, July 22 at 12:30.
Okay. See, we got advance notice.
Yes.
Yes. Caro, tell me some things you do.
Okay, I do 2 main things. I lead a group here called Rays of the Dawn discussion group, and I just brought this. I don't know where to hold it here. And it's Rays of the Dawn. It's part of concepttherapy.org, which is located in San Antonio, Texas, started by Dr. Thurman Fleet, teaching 90 years old. So this Rays of the Dawn group that I do here was started in 2017, right in the senior center. And then when it shut down, I continued doing it on Zoom.
Wait.
Okay.
It didn't shut down.
It
We
didn't.
had temporary closure.
Right, exactly. It was not shut down. It was just temporary closure. But I continued the group. And then when the temporary closure was over, there were people still here who wanted to do it in person who had not joined the Zoom group. And the Zoom group was already going strong with a lot of people from all different states and countries. So therefore, I said, what's better than a Rays of the Dawn group than two Rays of the Dawn groups? So I've continued both. And it's part of a larger organization, and I teach other courses that are related to this. But here, I just do the Rays of the Dawn study group.
So let me ask a question. Bessie, you talked about repasts and cooking.
Mm-hmm.
What made you volunteer to do that?
Out of necessity, because I saw that one person that had been leading that became ill and she needed help. And so she would call on me from time to time. And then I saw that most of the people that were doing that, they were becoming disabled. They had different issues. And I could help them. I could help them because, handling the trays of food and things like that, it's a little heavy for someone walking with a cane, for someone handicapped. So I was there to help them. And then it continued to become more and more. And so they have come to depend on me. And the most exciting thing, they like my food. They like my cooking.
We should taste your cooking.
They like my cooking.
Okay.
So now, I feel like that's where I'm really needed.
So
and I know
from being a volunteer to
I
being
volunteer.
a needed volunteer.
Yeah, and I volunteer. Yes.
That's nice.
All
That's
that is
giving
well.
back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Diane, what led you to get into this? Playing
Okay.
this instrument?
When I immigrated to the United States, I learned to appreciate our native culture even more. So I became passionate with sharing our heritage through playing our traditional instruments. And, I'm part of the group both as a musician and management. I was a founding member, then I was president emeritus
Yes.
for 2 decades before I became chairman of the board. So, even though this is an unpaid job, it's my ideal job because I love envisioning missions and goals, obtaining funding, and planning and implementing projects. And I also find fulfillment in developing leadership skills among my members in nonprofit management, as well as presenting educational, cultural projects.
Okay.
And not only that, we also teach anyone, any age, any musical ability to play our instruments. And I was a 4-time apprenticeship grantee from the New Jersey State Council of the Arts in playing the bandurria, the mainstay instrument that plays the melody in our ensemble.
Very interesting. Cara, what led you into concept therapy?
I saw a phone number at the library, and I happened to have a lot of free time, and it was just for a discussion group.
Interesting.
And I took the phone number. I know somebody else who took the same phone number
That was
at the
me.
same time, Diane.
Yeah.
And I started going to this weekly study group, and I just fell in love with the work. It's really just a self-help group. It just teaches you to know yourself, to analyze how you're thinking and feeling, and can you do it differently, or should you continue doing it the same? And it just helps deal with all situations, knowing yourself, not changing the ones around you, just getting to know yourself.
So how long have you been doing this?
Since 2011.
2011. How long have you been playing? You said when you came to the
Since
this country.
1992, when the group was formed.
How long have you been doing?
My repast cooking.
Yes.
Not long after I retired, so I would say probably about 2008.
Okay, so there are things to do as I thought about this topic, things that we do, because I know that that's not all, because we do a lot of things. Putting on our clothes is something that we do, things we do. Combing your hair, things we do. So we do a lot, but I'm always interested in folks who find that little bit of time to do something else, because many people just don't. They're happy doing just what they're doing. I go to work and I come home. And you know, when I think about it, even when I was working and came home, I still had things that you did on the side, and took up a lot of your time, consumed a lot of time. And then I think about this senior business. This business of becoming a senior and finding things to do. And one of the wonderful things is you find lots of things to do. And I wonder if people ever think about it.
I'd like to mention one of the
Yeah.
things we do here,
Yeah.
and you know what it is. Joyce Coles is part of it as well, the Taekwondo, the modified
Yeah.
Taekwondo, which is just fun. It's
Yeah.
amazing, which I think it was 2017 or 2018.
clue.
Either one of those years, it was around December going into January. We took part in a special program about what would happen to seniors who took a modified Taekwondo program. For 2 months, a college professor did the study. He sent somebody, a regular professional teacher from one of the dojos, to come in and teach us for 2 months. And it was great fun. Modified, I like to say modified. It's for fun, focus, concentration, self-confidence.
Diane, you do extra things.
Yes, I've retired early to look after my husband who had a major medical illness 8 years ago. And I've been his caregiver, cheerleader, and advocate. And I've experienced firsthand the challenges and issues of unpaid family caregivers. And I'm glad there are several resources out there, provided by the government and private organizations. And I'd like to tell others about this Plaquemine Medical Ministry based in Bedminster. They collect
Say that again.
Plaquemine Medical Ministry in Bedminster, New Jersey. And what they do is collect donated medical equipment and medical supplies and redistribute them for free. And, getting illness is something to deal with, how much more medical expenses. And I'm so grateful to them for the help they give. And to pay it forward, I'm telling as many people as possible, go to them. They're a big help.
That's good news.
Yes.
That's good news, because people don't explore
Right.
topics like that or information like that, and they just tend to think they have to do it all by themselves.
Yes.
And they have to dig deep into the pockets
Right.
to be able to pay for that care.
And
so that's
speaking
important.
of activities in the senior center, it has been a great source of self-care for me. I make it a point to go every day, either for Tai Chi or Zumba or just one class and socialize. And I'm glad the senior center is there for us.
Becky, any last thoughts, words?
Well, I also part of a group in Plainfield that work with City Hall, and is what we call our shut-in council. We reach out to those to seniors, people, handicapped people that are at home and can't get out. We reach out to them. We meet once a month. And occasionally we will go to one of the, drew a blank, nursing homes. Occasionally we would go to some of the nursing homes, but we weren't going during the time of COVID. But we would go there and play bingo, help them.
To be social with the seniors.
Yes, help them with the bingo, and they win prizes, and they get so excited when we come because they know they're going to get some nice prizes if they win. So we're going to start going back. We haven't been back since the pandemic, but we're going to start next month.
Okay.
Yes, going back and working with them. And, they're so happy when we come. They want to, they always ask, when are you coming back again? When you coming back again, So I also do that part-time, in my spare time.
Listen to how you phrased it. I do that part-time. Getting paid, right?
Right.
And none of this stuff, even when we do it part-time, full-time, however we do it, we do it.
It's volunteering. It's volunteer. Yes.
It's volunteering. It's support that I talked about earlier. It's teaching. It's teaching. It's counseling. It's so many things, so many talents that we bring to others and don't even realize you're doing it sometimes. You just get involved and get going. So wow, ladies, we are coming to the end of our program. And I can't believe we're out of time because I did have some other questions. But nevertheless, here's one of the things I'm thinking about, that this has been a learning opportunity. Diane shared such valuable information. And so did you, Bessie, because anybody can start doing different things if they really want to. And so the message that I want to send, it's never too late to reevaluate yourself or reinvent yourselves, because sometimes it's reinventing ourselves as we do different things. I know that people feel that I always think about things that I want to do. And I used to put together this list, and you check it off, right? Things I want to do in life, things I want to do while I'm a senior, things I just want to do. And sometimes we don't put hidden things in there. Because I never thought I'd be sitting here doing this, okay? But I like talking, and I like talking to people, and I like learning from people. So it's a way in which I get to do both, talk and learn, okay? And I just wonder if people hold such gauntlets, not gauntlets, but large amounts of information and talent that they need to just start to share, be it voluntary or just personal, because the Senior Center offers a lot of personal ways in which people can grow. I watch people actually exercise in a chair, which surprised me. I mean, they were going at it in a chair, exercising and enjoying it, okay? And doing, I guess, moves they've never done before. It's very interesting to look at the ways people have changed. And then there are those who just love to just sit and chat and share information in that form of just chatting and telling people about what they did, who they did it with. And then there are those who like to carry food to people. And now that I know you can cook,
We'll come over.
I have to think about what's a great dish that I want to taste that you cook. Because that's a lot of time. You know, even what you're doing, Diane, that's a lot of time that you spend, what Cara spends, Do you prepare for this in advance?
Yes.
You do prepare. Do you prepare?
To me, I think it was just making use of my God-given skills and talents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you prepare for a lot of this? Like, spend time
Yeah.
writing out what you're going to cook, getting your list together?
I even go shopping, for the things like,
That you need.
if I want to do something different for that particular repast.
Wow. Do they give you a budget?
Well, they pay for it, so it's
So they do give you a
yeah.
budget?
Oh yes.
Okay, that's nice to know. I'm difficult to work on a budget when
Yeah.
I'm shopping for food because I get carried away.
Yeah.
I get carried away. You go in the supermarket and all this stuff is sitting out. And I don't know who's been to the new store over there.
Yes.
Yes.
But they make it really hard for you to pay attention to your list.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Really difficult to pay attention to your list. And boy, have I heard conversations over there. Lots of information that I can use later between the folks who are working there, folks who are shopping there, and some people who are just viewing there. And I watched somebody get lost in the parking lot. They couldn't even find their car. And they got on the phone to call a family member. I don't know what that good that was going to do. But they got on the phone to call a family member to help them out. But there are things that people do, and people can be wonderful because they can just jump in and help you. But ladies, I want to say thank you, and I want to thank our viewers and the Piscataway TV crew and the Piscataway TV crew volunteers. I want to say thank you. This has been a pleasure. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to hear about, or you'd wish to share, or you want to be a participant, send me an email at colesj7@gmail.com or call me at 1-848-264-6735. And remember, women talk about everything, anything, anytime, and anywhere. So ladies, I just can't.